All right. That up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we are here day one training with Premier Puppy Teddy. So this is Teddy's first time downstairs in the training space. He has spent a couple minutes just kind of like acclimating to the area. We've just got these laminate floors down here, so a little bit slippery than carpet, although they see the laminate floors upstairs too, but it is just a new environment, new space for the puppies, so I like to try to give them a couple minutes just to acclimate to being in this new space. But Teddy seems to be doing really well. He's exploring, he's moving around from the carpet to the laminate. He found the toys. Ooh, those are fun. Yeah. So in this first week, kind of the things that we focus on are exposing the puppies to the clicker, so teaching them what the clicker means. So I'm going to spend a lot of time just sort of what we call charging the clicker, teaching Teddy that every time he hears a click, he's going to get food after that click. So we're going to start off the day that way. Then we might start to pair it with teaching him a couple of things, and then every day kind of expand on all of those things. Oh, you like to chase this one. And then of course we're going to break up these training exercises with a lot of toy play, because these are little itty bitty 8-9 week old puppies, so their attention spans are not very long yet. Oh, you like that, huh? So Teddy seems to be acclimating just fine down here. It only took him about 3 to 5 minutes to be like, okay, I'm fine. Definitely loves the toys, so I'm just going to see if he's interested in a piece of food. Oh, yes he is. Yes he is. Yeah, you're going to have fun down here. It's also kind of different down in this space too, because the puppies can hear the creaky floorboards upstairs, so sometimes that can be a little distracting. Yes. You are so cute. All right, so I'm just gonna start to pair the sound of the clicker with some food. So I'm gonna show Teddy that I have the food. I'm gonna click and then feed him. And you'll notice that I'm holding the clicker behind my back. I don't want to use it like a wand. I don't want to scare Teddy with the sound of the noise being really close to his face, so I'm starting by holding it behind my back, clicking, then reaching and feeding a piece of food. One of the things with these really little guys is that we also want to teach them that they can get food directly from our hands, so we can hand feed them like this when delivering a treat or reinforcement, or also we can deliver the food on the ground. That is something that you have to teach puppies. You have to teach them that they can find reinforcement on the ground. As the dog gets older, I like to put that, have a marker specifically for food that they will find on the ground. With these little puppies, eventually we'll probably say something like, get it. Do another one, I'm going to click, and then I'm going to feed Teddy a piece of treat, so that one happened from my hand. And you'll notice that I'm pausing in between clicks because I really want the dog to make the association that the sound of the click means that the food is going to appear. Come over here. Click, then I reach for the food, and this one I'm going to feed Teddy right on the ground. So you'll notice that I started by getting it in front of his nose and then sort of learn him to follow it to the ground, and that's how you teach them that they can find it on the ground. This one I think I'll deliver from my hand. After he eats this one, I click again, and I'll deliver this one on the ground. So after we charge the clicker with these little guys, or maybe any novice dog that has never heard a clicker before, I'm probably going to start each training session for the first week of clicking and feeding the dog just a free treat, just charging that clicker, so that they really make the association that this noise means that food is coming, right? So I'm really not training the dog anything other than click equals food right at this moment. But it's important that we charge the clicker before we use it and actually teaching other behavior, so then that way the dog knows what it means. So now just a very slight variation on what I've been doing. Now I'm just going to have Teddy follow the food lure before I click and treat. I kind of did that once already, but just like teaching the dog that they can find food on the ground sometimes when we're going to deliver reinforcement, you have to teach a dog how to follow a food lure in your hand. So this starts by, I'm going to show Teddy that I have the food and he's very interested in it. He's licking it, he's kind of biting at it. And then I'm just very slowly going to move my hand forward so that he's following. And then I'm going to, after a few steps, I'm going to click that clicker and then let him have it. I'm going to do this one more time, and you're going to notice that when I move my hand, when I start to move the dog, notice how slowly I'm going, because I want the dog to stay connected to me. That's the whole point of a food lure, is that the dog is following. So I really want the dog to stay connected to my hand. Now, of course, if Teddy was like biting my hand very hard or something like that, we might switch that up a little bit. But he's being very soft and gentle, which is also a way that you teach your puppies bite inhibition. So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing with him. Okay. So as long as the puppy is soft and gentle with their mouth, mostly Teddy's just licking the treat in my hand, then I will click and feed. If the puppy was really chomping onto my hand and applying a lot of pressure behind their bite, then I would not let them take the treat until they had a much softer mouth interacting with my hand. So I'll just show you that a common mistake that I see new puppy owners do when they're trying to lure a behavior from their dog is they might start by showing them the food, but then they do one of these, right? And you can see how fast Teddy got disconnected because I moved my hand way too quickly. So think of a food lure just like the lure on a fishing hook. You want to hook the puppy, or you want to hook the fish, and then you want to keep them connected to that lure. If you disconnect from what's on the end of your lure, then you're going to lose it. So it's the same with training our puppies using a food lure too. All right, want to take a little break for a second? So after I do so many repetitions of something, I'm going to make sure with these little babies that we're going to break it up with toy play. Good boy. Good boy. This is a great way to teach your puppy appropriate play, doing a little bit of training and then a little bit of play. Because if you're only just playing with your puppy, they're going to get more excited. Their arousal level is going to go up, up, up. And that's when you might start to get a puppy who is mouthing and biting at you instead of the toys. So I like to play, and then do a little bit of clicker training. Then play, and a little bit of clicker training, because when you move into the training, you're going to make the dog think, and you're going to lower their arousal level, so they don't just keep going up, 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 and getting more and more excited and more likely to bite you. You'll also notice during playtime, when it's playtime, it means that we are interacting with the toys together. I'm not roughhousing Teddy with my hands. He hasn't really tried yet, but I'm also not going to allow him to climb up on me or into my lap during playtime. During snuggle time, that's a different story. Absolutely snuggle your puppies. That's how you, one of the important ways that we bond with them. But during playtime, when all your puppy wants to do is bite, which is very normal, I'm going to set that up right away, that the puppy isn't allowed to climb all over me when they're in that state of arousal, because I'm just setting them up for wanting to start to bite me, my clothes, my hands, pull on my hair. I've got long hair. Puppies like to grab a hold of that sometimes. So if during play he did try to climb up in my lap, I would just gently get him down and set him back down on the ground and try to get play going again out here on the toy. So something similar to this, but he already got himself down. Great, I didn't even have to intervene and just get him, you know, back interested on the toy again. If the puppy keeps trying to climb into your lap during toy play, then maybe that's a good time to take a little break from play. Put the puppy inside their exercise pen, behind a baby gate, and then give them something that they are allowed to sit and bite and chew on. You know, something like a raw bone or a dental chewer stick, bully sticks, Himalayan bones, a frozen Kong can be great. Your puppy just needs a little mental break and needs a little pacifier. So those things that they sit and chew and consume, I reserve for little mental timeouts if the puppy is being too crazy during toy play. I do not offer those chews any other time except for when they're in their confinement area, when they need to lower their arousal a little bit. So we can be strategic in the toys and things that we, in the mental enrichment that we offer our dogs to set them up for success with their behavior. All right, so now that we've taken a little break, we're going to see if we can teach Teddy a brand new behavior. So we started by charging the clicker, then we got him following a food lure in our hand. So we're going to utilize that follow a food lure technique to teach Teddy a hand target right now. So first, I'm just going to start by charging the clicker maybe 2 times in a row again, just to remind him that means that he's going to get a cookie. And I might use that as an opportunity to take his toy away, which I'll give back to him after we're done with this session. Okay, so now I'm going to hold the treat in a different way. Instead of holding it in what I call the pinchy fingers, which is how we usually feed dogs, is with these pinchy fingers, right? I'm going to hold it in a nice flat palm. So again, I'm going to start by showing Teddy that I have the food, but then I'm going to slowly bring my flat palm away. And when he eats the food out of my flat palm, I'm going to click the clicker. So essentially, he's following a food lure to perform the behavior. We're going to do that 3 times in a row, and then we're going to immediately try without a food lure in my hand and see if Teddy can target his nose to my hand. All right, so that's what we're going to do this time. I don't have food in my hand. I'm just going to show Teddy. When I feel his nose, I'm going to click the clicker, then I'm going to deliver the treat. Okay, so watch this again. No food in my hand, but because he interacted with it so many times before with food, he's going to come over to it. As soon as I feel his nose, I click the clicker, then I produce the food. So if we are using a food lure and training the dog a behavior, you know, usually maybe I'll do it for, depending on the complexity of the behavior, 3 or 4 repetitions, and then I'm going to try to move into not having the food in my hand right away. So let's see if Teddy can offer it again. As soon as I feel his little nose, I click the clicker, then I deliver the treat. You'll see how, or you probably saw how that last repetition, Teddy was a little bit slower to offer the behavior, and that's because this is so brand new. So I'm going to do another one now with a food lure, just to keep that behavior strong. And then immediately I'm going to try one without a food lure again. After he finishes, that was kind of a big piece. And you can see how that repetition without the food was much faster. Oh, he hears feet moving around upstairs. Good boy. So this behavior of showing your dog a flat palm, them coming over and bopping their nose, that's called a hand target. And we can call this behavior touch. So this is what we will name the hand target. You always want to make sure that you wait for your dog to stop eating the piece of food that you gave them before you ask them for another repetition, or else they're still going to be, you know, preoccupied with crunching the piece of food that they just had. Let's see if Teddy can do another one. Touch. What a good boy. So this time what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to ask Teddy for a hand target, but instead of hand feeding him, I'm going to throw his treat on the ground. Touch. Get it. So I still marked the behavior with a click, but then I said get it so that Teddy will start to realize that when I say get it, his reinforcement is on the ground instead of me going to hand feed him. Eventually the get it cookie could be, you know, I'm throwing it across the room and the puppy can go chase it. Just kind of keeps the game more fun when they get to chase. Right? We're going to take a little break again. Yeah. A little bit of play, remember? You don't want to make the dog think for too hard for too long, especially the tiny little puppy baby. So that's why we break it up with toy play, but then we also don't want our play sessions to get too arousing too quickly, so that's why we break it up with training. Oh, there's feet moving around upstairs. Yes. And he smells that I had food. This is like my treat delivery hand, so he's coming over and licking me. But he's not biting and he's not trying to climb in my lap, so I'm not really doing too much about it. Yes. What is this? Boy. Yeah, that's somebody moving around again. No big deal. No big deal. Okay, the next exercise that we're going to do with Teddy is just a little bit of what I call the name game. So I'm just going to say Teddy's name. So this is a great way to teach your dog name recognition, so teach them what their name is. So you can do this with a dog of any age. And it's going to be the very first tiny baby step in shaping a formal recall. So he's very interested in the bottom of my shoes right now. You know, if your puppy can't or your dog can't even respond to or reorient to the sound of their own name, the chances of them actually returning to you if they are a distance away and you want them to return is probably going to be sort of slim. So this is why we start imprinting the puppy's name on them right away, and we can use the clicker to do that. Loves this little chicken, little squeaky chicken. Yes. Oh, you got it. You are so tough. You are so tough. So I just started by charging that clicker again for a second. Get it. I'm just going to set one so Teddy's that way. Teddy! Oh, what a good boy. Teddy! Very good boy. I'm just saying Teddy's name. As soon as he turns in my direction in any way, shape, or form, whether he's looking at me or not, I'm just going to click the clicker and feed him. So any sort of reorientation towards me. Teddy! Good boy. Looked up at me there. Oh no, I ran out of treat. Can I find it? Very nice. Teddy! Teddy! trying to break this one in half and it won't go. All right, here. Teddy. 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 You can see this is a very simple exercise, but it's so important. Teddy. Teddy. We're going to do this one more time. Teddy. What a good boy. All right, so we've got about 1 more minute. We are going to wrap up with just a little bit of a handling exercise. So these handling exercises I do with the puppies, you know, every, oh my goodness, I almost fell on them. Every session that I work with them. It's really important that your puppy be, oh no, did I squat on you? Here, come here. That your puppy be comfortable with being handled in all different ways because that's going to set them up for a lifetime of veterinary care and grooming care by your vet and groomer. These guys are going to have to see the groomer kind of regularly, so it's important that they be comfortable with with handling. We've got a few pieces left in here. Right, so again, I'm going to let Teddy see that I have the food, but I'm going to use the clicker to mark why I'm feeding it to him. So I'm going to start by just lifting an ear, clicking, and then feeding. Then he's done with that one. I'm going to lift the other ear, click, and feed. This is a big one. Let's see if we can break that one in half. Ooh, sometimes they're tough to do that. I'm going to lift his tail. A little crumb right there. I'm going to put my hands under his belly and his chest, almost like I'm going to pick him up. I'll do that one more time. Okay. And that simple session is what we are going to end today with. Yeah, you like that little chicken, don't you?